being in the military, we were talking about Lance Corporal. So like the average Lance Corporal doesn't make that much money and obviously probably cannot afford an attorney and therefore is probably going to, want to opt towards the free version of the military. So at what point are you able to help people that really don't have the ability to pay, if at all?
Yeah, well, hiring a civilian attorney is expensive. It just is. Because when you look at it, there's an extraordinary amount of time that goes into representing someone. Let's say you have a sexual assault case. The investigation alone could be hundreds of hours. You have writing the motions, that can be another literally 50, 100 hours in legal research and drafting motions. Then you have to go to trial and litigate these motions, and we travel to that location. So whether that's close to me in Pensacola or whether we're going back to Hawaii or out to Korea, there's a lot of travel that's involved in this. And then we get to the actual trial itself. A trial can be 5 days long. It could be a week or even longer, and those are 12, 15-hour days. So when you look at the hours that it takes to really not just try a court-martial, but to actually win one, and there's a hell of a lot of difference between reading the file the weekend before and just half-assing something or mailing it in and putting all of your time and effort and energy in and actually winning a case. So there's a lot of time that goes into that. And that's really where the funds come in, because it's not cheap to do that. So really what I tell service members, if it's a lower level case, if it's just really low level NJP, something that's not going to be really affect their freedom, where they're going to be incarcerated for years, there's always the time to at least try the military attorney. Some of them are very good. Other ones aren't so much, but at least try that. But if you're in a situation where if you're convicted, now you're facing, let's say, a decade in prison, sex offender registration, those are life changers. And while it's difficult if you're saying, hey, the fees are going to be, $20, $50, $100,000, whatever they happen to be, because each case is unique, while that's a lot of money, think about the cost of doing nothing and think about what your time is worth or what your life is worth if you're sitting in a prison cell and you're looking at 10 years or 20 years, and then you get out and you're a sex offender and you're really unemployable. If you have family members, they usually don't stick around. Sometimes they do. How difficult it is with children. And so if the case is serious enough, and if it is or it isn't, you just know if you've got that gut feeling inside you saying, I need the big guns. I'm not willing to, go to prison for this amount of time. Then you have to pool your resources, either pool the resources, talk to family. A lot of service members say, oh my God, it's so expensive. But then they're driving a $45,000 car, and that car doesn't do them any good whatsoever when they're locked up or in prison. And so that's an individual decision that each service member is going to have to make. But a lot of our clients, especially the younger ones, the Lance Corporals, the specialists, the enlisted, most of them don't have the ability to fund this on their own. So they reach back to family members and try to put funds together. And if it's the right case, and by the right case, it's a serious case with serious repercussions, and it's the right client, because I need a client who wants to win this as much as I do. And trust me, we want to win, but I want a client that wants to be in this all the way as well. So if it's the right client and the right case and the right set of facts, then I can certainly work with them on doing payments. But this is typically something we don't often do. Most clients need to be able to have the ability to fund it, because once we get on board, we're 100% in. And my focus isn't on collecting. My focus is on winning the case.